with it.
Positives.
Less time blow drying, more time texting.
Or C, show empathy.
Mom, you really don't have to.
Twinsies.
I kinda love it. You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
For more information on adoption, visit adoptuskids.org. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
WNSR, Nashville Sports Radio.
Are you over 50? Would you like to get up to 33% more income in retirement? Then call now for this free book, Annuity Do's and Don'ts for Baby Boomers, from a leading financial firm on maximizing your income in retirement. That's right, free. This free book reveals little-known truths about annuities in simple-to-understand terms that will help you make the right choices before buying an annuity. And it's free. As a bonus, we'll also throw in a free annuity rate report summarizing the rates and benefits from financially strong insurers.
Call 800-715-9880.
That's right, Annuity Do's and Don'ts for Baby Boomers and Annuity Rate Report, both absolutely free for calling today.
Call 800-715-9880. That's 800-715-9880.
Sponsored by Annuity General. Producers have the appropriate licenses for the products they offer. Increased income is possible using strategies suited to your goals and may require buying multiple annuities and holding them full term.
They say they'll get your biggest tax refund. Jackson Hewitt says your biggest tax refund guaranteed, and a chance to double your tax refund. Thousands in weekly prizes during the Double Your Refund sweepstakes. Your biggest refund times 2, twice the money, so forget about them. File your taxes on the double at Jackson Hewitt today. No purchase necessary to enter or win. Open to U.S. residents 18 or older who file a 2022 federal tax return. Promotion ends 4/2/23. Visit jacksonhewitt.com for rules.
Hi, this is Joe Cordell with the law firm Cordell & Cordell. When the prospect of divorce becomes a reality, you need a partner that you can count on. If you're a man in this situation, consider contacting Cordell & Cordell. We've helped men navigate complex legal matters for 30 years.
Contact Cordell & Cordell to schedule an appointment with one of our firm's Nashville area attorneys, a partner men can count on. 810 Crescent Center Drive, Suite 160, Franklin, Tennessee, 37067. Online at CordellCordell.com.
Okay, it's happening.
It's the afternoon stretch with Zach Williams and Bruno Reagan.
Everybody stay calm. Stay calm.
Let's take some calls from the public, shall we?
Join the afternoon stretch now at 615-844-5600. Now here's Bruno and Zach.
O'clock here in the Music City, so you know what time it is. Time for the afternoon stretch here on Nashville Sports Radio. Bruno Reagan, Devlin McKenzie, Zach Williams here inside the Strike and Spare Family Fun Center studio. Hope everybody had a terrific weekend. Hope you had a terrific start to your week on this Monday, January 30th. We're almost through a full month of 2023. Time is moving fast. Nobody can stop it. It's a never-ending train. Bruno Reagan, how are you doing today?
Actually, pretty well for how little sleep I got. It was
not a sleeper.
I will say, well, it was a sobering sleep. I wanted to see if I could do it, without the influence of ulterior things, and I couldn't. But I feel like I had a great conversation with myself that night, so it was good.
What was this about? Just
trying to get over my broken dreams that would happen 3 years ago.
Oh,
so hey,
you're still playing pro ball. Who cares?
I know, but a lot of things happen because of inertia, right? You just kind of find a thing and go. But I've really been able to be proactive while grieving that. I don't think a lot of people know how much that hurt my feelings back then. It was like getting a divorce for me.
Well, it really simply is. No joke attached to this. It is a personal problem. You know what I mean? Because nobody else is going to live through that.
Well, that's why it was good to just have that conversation with myself in my pitch black room for 5 hours.
You're in a fewer room. You're in a smaller room than even the people that go in to play in the NFL, because you were told you were going to be drafted to play in the NFL.
Oh, that was crazy.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know. I was with my family looking up apartments in Indianapolis,
Yeah.
Just how quickly it crashed down.
How many people get told they're going to be drafted and then aren't at all?
It's pretty
and then not picked up. You know what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's even a smaller group.
It was a sombering day. But I feel like I've taken the mental steps to actually finally like move on mentally. So that was awesome. It was weird. It was just what's today? January 30th?
January 30th.
It was random, but I was like, I think I can finally be over it. It's like getting over that girl you loved. That's what it really feels like. That's what it really feels like.
Speaking of that girl I loved, Devlin, how you doing today? You doing good, buddy?
Hey, guys.
Yeah, there's Devlin.
Back to being a Browns fan.
Back to Browns. But what are we doing? We're repping Cincinnati, the Bearcats, too, by the way, in the hoodie today.
Yep. I just threw something on. I didn't really think anything of it. It was a hoodie laying down, and I was like, that looks warm. I'll wear that today.
Yeah. Did you enjoy the weekend? Did you enjoy the games?
Yeah, I pretty much just waited until football came on.
Yeah, I think everybody kind of was.
I didn't know the games were going to be at 3 and 5. That was odd timing. I thought it'd be like a 5 and 7. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. The first game snuck up on me too. I don't know if I see Eastern and I just don't like comprehend Eastern, but I did look down and I was like, it started. It was like one of those. I was like, turn it on. I was watching This Old House, and I was like, no, I gotta switch over to this. And then I watched a football game. In the 49ers and the Eagles, that was an atrocity.
I know.
That was the worst thing ever to be shown in a championship game.
Frankly, I think we saw a lot of people get romantic about sports. Like, what's the saying? How can you not be romantic about baseball? How can you not be and then you get to these playoff things and you think storylines. And I think you just kind of saw the human element. These two championship games unfold like that because Patrick Mahomes is dealing with that ankle. Then the entire Chiefs roster gets hurt. Defensive, they have injuries. Kadarius Toney goes out. You just see a ton of injuries. Now,
well, that game I loved.
I know. Well, that's what I'm saying, though. But it was a real, the game ended for a lot of those players, like, in the first quarter, second quarter. You go to the Niners, Brock Purdy gets hurt. I mean, he had his whole story, his whole come-up. He doesn't even get to see it through. He's like, I can't throw. Yeah. And first of all, shout out to Brock Purdy because there's a lot of people, the Staffords of the world, you see what he pulled off when he was injured, separated shoulder, right? If you cannot go, one of the bravest things you can do, like as a competitor, is to like be like, I am hurting us out there.
Well, Titans fans would remember this. It was the same injury that happened to Marcus Mariota a few years ago. It was an ulnar nerve damage. So he even said after the game, he was like, I could only throw the ball like 10 yards.
Yeah.
He was like, that's why it was screens. I will say this. That game sucked. The injury sucked. All of it sucked. And I'm going to talk about why I think the Eagles are frauds and they're going to get boat raced by the Chiefs later. That will happen. But
I don't think so.
I do believe that the 49ers were the makers of their own doom in that one. I get it. Josh Johnson goes down. All your quarterbacks are down. But you just gave up the house at the end. They didn't care. It was almost like they thought, well, we have next week. That was the way they were playing. Put Christian McCaffrey in at quarterback. At least go down fighting. If Purdy can't throw it more than 10 yards, give it a shot to someone else. They just ran the ball. They literally, I mean, to watch them run on first through fourth down in the same play, essentially, was ridiculous. That's on Kyle Shanahan, and that needs to be fixed.
I think the league just has issues with rosters and the way how many quarterbacks you can have. But at the end of the day, Josh Johnson was already your backup, and you were already on Brock Purdy, so it's not like talent scouting wise you were in a great spot anyways.
I don't like all the excuses for Josh Johnson either.
What does that mean?
Everybody was like, even the broadcasters were like, well, he didn't expect to play. Well, that's stupid.
That's dumb.
That's stupid. You know what? You expect to play.
No, but you can't stop getting injured. Like, if you're hurt, you're hurt.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't understand that. It's insane. If you're hurt, you're hurt. You can't play. I'm not excusing the poor play he had, because it's always an assumption that you will get in. You have to prepare like you're the starter, especially in the NFL. Or just Josh Johnson wouldn't have had that job. The Niners just literally had no quarterbacks. I know part of it is just that you can only have so many people active on a game week. You know, so if you're unlucky, yeah, you go to emergency situations. Christian McCaffrey also, hey, love the guy, heck of an athlete. He has no idea. He probably couldn't even call a cadence. He probably doesn't know the mechanics of a cadence, like how the first part is your call, which is loud, and the second part is rhythm. Like, he probably couldn't even do that. He'd probably just be like, what? You know, I don't know.
I just wanted to see it. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Hey, man, at that point, you really can't do anything. Like, there's nothing wrong you can do. Running the ball out, like, that's not the wrong decision. Putting Trent Williams at quarterback wouldn't have been wrong either. Just try doing something.
Do anything other than just giving up.
Yeah.
Because there's no excuse out there. There's no excuse. You just gave up on the game at the end there. The other side of this, the Eagles are a good team.
They're a great team.
They're a good team.
They're a great team.
I'm gonna stick with good. They're
good.
A
Great team.
They played bums all year.
No,
they played bums all year.
It's my turn.
Okay, your turn. Go for it.
You don't beat teams the way the Eagles have in the playoff. I don't care how bad you think the NFC is. You don't beat teams the way the Eagles have in the playoff and not be great. They're great. They're all great. Their receivers are great. Their running back is great. Their O-line's great. Their quarterback's great. Their entire defense is great. They're just a great team. Where are they all going to be after this run? I don't know, because you remember the last time the Eagles won, Carson Wentz and Nick Foles were their quarterbacks, and the rest of the team followed talent-wise. That team, I don't know, go look up where are they now, Eagles. What was that year, 2018, 19?
Yeah, 2017, I think.
Okay.
I could
Well,
be
go
wrong.
look up where they go look up everyone on that Eagles team immediately after they won the Super Bowl. Everyone's career crashed and burned except for like 3 people.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just how it is. Sometimes the magic's there. This Eagles team feels a lot similar. They're all just having the year of their life right now. And how disgusting does it feel to watch A.J. Brown go out there and make it look easy?
They played bums all year. Look at, I mean, you just go through the.
What happens when they put 30 up on the Chiefs? 38.
Let's see if it happens. That's really where I'm going to start here. But go back week 1. They started off Detroit, right? Detroit week 1, garbage. That was one of their closer games of the season too. By the way, 38-35. Jared Goff, the quarterback, right?
Who won?
Eagles won that one. Yeah. No, they win. They win games. I get it. Look, Bruno. I think your Vandy team that you played on could have beat every high school team in the state of Tennessee. And that's what I'm talking about here. They're good because they're in the NFC. They look at it. Once again, Minnesota the next one, Kirk Cousins. I think we all agree on Kirk Cousins.
I think the circular logic could just be found, though. Like, Malik Willis and the Titans almost beat Kansas City, and the Titans, they couldn't beat the Eagles. I don't know. It's just I feel like you can find the circular logic around pretty easily.
Their best quarterback that they played against was Trevor Lawrence. That was the best. And I think if they played him later in the season, they win that game. The Jags win that game over the Eagles. The Eagles won. What was that score? It was 29-21. I just think that the Eagles have been able to coat ride a really good job. They have good talent. I don't disagree with their talent.
I think they have the best all-around talent in the National Football League.
It's tough, man.
And I think the Chiefs are
You think Jalen Hurts is better than Patrick Mahomes?
Nope. I think that's the one where the Chiefs get the edge. Who's the Chiefs' number 1 wide receiver? MVS.
Yeah. Hey, I will say this. That guy showed up in the only game that mattered all season.
Good for him.
He's good. When he shows up, he's good.
He is good. He played well. He was still struggling that game. Eli Apple, for all the trash we gave him, that dude had a good game. That dude had a really good game.
Up until the last 5 minutes.
I know.
Then you start causing your own doom.
Yeah, well, and
let's talk about that game.
We can
now.
talk about the refs and stuff like that, too.
Well, thank you. That's exactly why I want to start into this, because it is wild. I say this because I'm watching the game with a huge Chiefs fan, right? Everything that people are saying.
I'll give you unbiased view after you're done.
Everybody's saying that Chiefs were the league wanted the Chiefs to win, and the refs were just carrying the Chiefs through the game, and look at the calls and having to play with third down over again. None of that's true. None of that's true. The
NFL's rigged. If you're a grown man
stupid.
And you think the NFL's rigged, I don't know if you're doing it for bait or clout or what, but if you're a grown man, a grown adult individual,
or woman, because there's stupid women out there too.
Is true.
Let's put that out there. Not just stupid men. There's stupid women as well.
I'm gonna refrain a joke I had loaded up. Anyways,
Devlin, cut his mic.
Anyways, no, if you're a grown person and you believe the NFL is rigged or scripted for ratings and views, you're an idiot. You're the dumbest person I've ever met. And sometimes, hey, A call doesn't go your way, a call doesn't go that way. But everything was kind of I think we're in the age where you can find a group of people that believe what you believe, no matter the facts. That third down, the ref tried to stop it. He could and the play didn't stop. He was on the field running. If you're a player, you can.
They showed it. They showed on the TV. That's the thing that killed me. Everybody was like, hey, why did they let him play third down over again? The ref runs in to stop it, and then 22 full-size athletic monsters are running around the field. He's like, oh, I don't want to get ran over right now because I'm not supposed to be in this part of the field. So let the play out. It's stupid. Somebody could have got hurt, but the place was so loud you couldn't hear whistles.
Someone tweeted. I made that observation because a lot of Chiefs fans were upset. I was like, oh, they tried to stop the play, but it was so loud they couldn't hear. And the guy was like, you think the stadium was so loud for the team on offense? Yeah.
Yes.
That's exactly what happened.
Are you watching that game?
Tony Romo is screaming because he can't think.
They're all sitting there saying, like, you can't even hear the whistles in our field mics. Like, people don't – you know those big tubes? They're holding, like, big – like
They've never played in a loud stadium. They've never been on the field in a loud stadium.
It's
impossible to hear anything.
And this happens a lot in college. Arrowhead is a college stadium.
Yep.
That's the build of Arrowhead. And people are just freaking out saying, how could they not hear these? They can hear. On the field, possibly they can hear. But there is a wall of noise coming into the stadium. That's just, it's different. Those big salad bowls on the sidelines of guys, that's mics. That's what those are. They're mics to pick up field noise for the broadcast. Those weren't even working because there's just too much noise happening. The people, this is the other side too. If you think the NFL's rigged, you're stupid because how can that many people hold on to a lie?
Well, there was that one player.
Benny Cunningham, I know. It's one guy.
He lost his mind and was just like, I'm just going to start feeding the trolls.
One guy was like, yeah, they make us sign a contract. That's what it is. They made us sign a contract and say it. No, because also, you know how tough that would be too? First off, say it's just the officials are trying to rig the game. That does nothing for the actual performance on the field. Why did Burrow throw 2 interceptions? Why did that guy push Mahomes? Why did Osai push Mahomes outside of the play? I mean, there's a lot of things that go into it. You're like, if this is rigged, that's just stupid. That has nothing to do with it. Why would they game plan? Why would all these things happen if the NFL is rigged? I couldn't believe that was a real conversation.
There's a subsect of people on the Bird app, the Twitter.com website.
They need to burn it down.
There's a subsect of people that take the 22, the fastest athletes on our planet Earth, and they will pause mid-play, and they'll go, look at that. That's a hold.
I know.
And Michael Parsons goes on the Twitter.com app. Michael Parsons, one of the best players, one of the most talented players right now in the league, he shares a clip of Lane Johnson setting a 1/10 of a second early before the ball moves. You think a ref's going to call that, Micah? It's that fast in real time, but he's slowing it to a 20th of a second margin. He's like, look.
Frame by frame, 8K visual, teak. I mean, how do you not see this?
Your brains aren't working. Your brains don't work. You do not think past a complex level. You couldn't pass algebra. You can't think 3 steps down the line.
It's so dumb. And for people to say, well, so many hold calls were happening. Chiefs were just getting away. Same on the Bengals.
Bengals should hold more.
Chris Jones was quite literally, they were grasping hands like it was Red Rover.
If they didn't, he was going to murder Joe Burrow.
They had to hold him. Majority of the time he's getting held. And also offensive play, every game there's holding. Every game, every play there's holding almost. It just is.
Yeah.
And it's some are going to get missed, some are going to get called. But no matter what, does holding really affect the game? In the grand scheme of things.
No, it's a coping mechanism for grown children that live in Cincinnati, Ohio, to try and validate their existence, which you have nothing to live for anyways, and now the Bengals let you down too. So
be mad at Burrow throwing 2 picks.
Hey,
because
your hero,
frankly,
your hero lost you the game. He got outstatted by Mahomes in every category. Turnover margin, yards, touchdowns.
With one less ankle.
Got outplayed by Joe Burrow. Oh.
Yeah. No,
it's maybe next year. Or not.
It's wild. I will say this. Joe Burrow is a good quarterback. I think he's accurate. I will say some of the passes he got in that game that moved him down the field is just T. Higgins and Jamar Chase being absolute monsters.
Hey, that one he threw to T. Higgins for the TD, that shows you why Joe Burrow is one of the best in the league.
Great throw.
Amazing. but it's the National Football League playoffs against Patrick Mahomes. You have to be on your A game 60 to 80 snaps.
That fourth down to right before they score the touchdown with Joe Mixon to Jamar Chase. It was like 4th and 2 or something. And he just throws it up into double coverage, and Jamar Chase just climbs out of the heavens and grabs it. I mean, that's not a good quarterback throw. He just threw it in the vicinity. You know, it's the vicinity of Jamar Chase. And he goes up and grabs it. You're just like, oh, my God, that was a 4th down throw? That was a terrible idea, but wow. You know, I remember even saying that to my dad who's watching the game, freaking out. He's like, I can't believe they're going to go down and score. I'm like, look, it's 4th down. They're going to punt. And then all of a sudden he throws it. I'm like, oh, man, they might win. I mean, if you're catching balls like that, it might be over. But no, I mean, there's so much still to talk about it. The people that think the NFL's rigged, you're stupid. All right, 615-844-5600. If you want to jump in, we want to talk to you. Come, if you believe the NFL's rigged, tell us about it. Call in. I'd love to have an actual conversation. We won't berate you. I want to hear your side of it. What is a real side of it? Because you don't have one. That's why. 615-844-5600. Back after this here on the afternoon stretch.
Good afternoon. Clean up on the paperwork on that wreck that's been up there for a while involving a truck. It looked like it lost its rear end or something. It was a crazy-looking wreck, and it's still slow on 65 northbound near Trinity Lane. Traffic's on the increase not only in that area for this time of the afternoon, but it's also building to the south 65 into Brentwood, Franklin, and steady flow of traffic continues I-40 through Wilson County. Lots of radar this afternoon for some reason. I-24 out through Rutherford County. Nash Painting is Middle Tennessee's #1 residential and commercial painters. Check them out online at nashpainting.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Are you looking for a trusted partner who knows AT&T business inside and out? ABS Communications is an organization built on the premise that telecom solutions and working with companies like AT&T can often be complicated, and the customer needs someone to help them navigate through these complexities. They make complex simple. Whether it's helping maintain, manage, or secure your business, ABS Communications is here to help all your business telecom and mobility needs. Their business was built with the goal of simplifying the process of connectivity for the customer and establishing a long-term relationship of trust through transparency and accountability. ABS Communications is a top 5 AT&T authorized agent with over 200 years of AT&T technical experience. You can call Mark and the gang at 615-349-8588, or you can visit their website at abscomm.net. And remember, mention the McFarland Show to ABS, and you could get up to $250 in a Visa gift card for new ABS business customers.
When you're away from home and you want down-home cooking, Kitchen Notes at the Omni Nashville Hotel is the answer. Excellent, fresh, and local, just like Grandma used to make. Start your day with a Music City omelet and some prime rib hash, or a cast iron waffle with Nashville hot chicken. For those wanting variety, hit the biggest breakfast buffet in Music City. And of course, the world-famous Biscuit Bar. Start your day with the fresh, local, and down-home cooking of Kitchen Notes at the Omni Nashville Hotel, 5th Avenue, downtown.
The Jim Rome Show.
I get a lot of vacation. I understand that. However, I don't take a lot of sick days. These things are not one and the same. That was not like I worked 8 straight days or I worked Super Bowl Sunday. I think I'll give myself a day off. I earned it. Hey, and by the way, I could, because I have those days. I pride myself in not taking sick days. I hate that. We usually grind through it. But honestly, it was the right thing. In that case, it was the right thing.
The Jim Rome Show. Weekdays 11 to 2 on Nashville's Sports Radio.
What's your next dream? Paying off your credit card, remodeling your kitchen, exploring the rainforests of Costa Rica? Whatever your dreams, they take some planning. And State Farm agent Austin Hardy is right here in the Middle Tennessee community to lend a hand. As your local good neighbor, he can help you look at the things you want to save for and come up with a plan to make those saving goals happen. Because your money should work just as hard as you to achieve your dream. So whether it's being free of debt or free to roam the world, call State Farm agent Austin Hardy here in the Middle Tennessee community. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
5-State Forecast.
Your exclusive Nashville Sports Radio WNSR Skyscan forecast for this afternoon. Winter weather advisory, a chance of some sprinkles, temperatures falling into the 40s. Utilizing the resources of the Weatherbug Network on Nashville Sports Radio.
Stretch.
I'm WNSR's Rick Bennett.
Nah, I don't know if I can say that, man. I'm going to move on to the next one.
The afternoon stretch. Bruno Reagan, Devlin McKenzie, Zach Williams, here inside the Strike and Spare Family Fun Center studio. Last night, NFL football, one game terrible, one game amazing. It really was. It's actually so sad because we were just talking about how the NFL rigged stuff was so stupid, but it's really sad because that game was great.
Why would they in the script? Why would they put the Eagles beating the Niners 38 to whatever?
Yeah,
7?
That's dumb.
If there was a script,
that's ruin a product. That's the NFL rig's dumb. But that whole rhetoric just got stupid because the game was a fun game. I mean, if you were a Chiefs fan, you were freaking out. If you were a Bengals fan, you were freaking out. If you were neither of those teams' fans, you were freaking out watching that game. Everybody had the same emotional response to that game last night. It was so fun. There's not one person who watched that game and was like, I don't care. No, that game had you sucked in it had everything. Travis Kelce, was he going to play or not play? And then he just shows up and does the most unathletic routes in football and is getting 12 yards every time. That guy is amazing. The little that he does nothing better than anyone in the NFL.
I'll tell you what he does well. He trusts his first step. You'll never see Travis Kelce take a false step off the line of scrimmage. Even when there's someone covering him, he'll always cover at least like a foot and a half of ground, and that gives him a space. He does extremely great at separation because he has a long upper body, so he swings his upper body before his footwork even goes off, and that just gives him enough space. And he's also massive. He's massive in the open space. So even though he's not the fastest, he has great strides, so he collects yards on rack like that, and he doesn't mess around. He doesn't go side to side. He goes immediately upfield, and he makes it look easy because he does the simple things right.
Yeah.
And now we have to call this guy the greatest tight end of all time. I mean, he looks like a milk dud out there running.
I'll tell you, the best things in life are simple, and that's what he's the best because what he does is very simple. He doesn't have to high point a ball. He doesn't have to outrun of his important.
You see him mossing people. That's not what he does.
He goes out 10 yards and he turns around, and Mahomes throws it to him. That's it. That's the game plan.
I don't think I've seen him catch a contested ball all season.
Because there's no one near him. There's no one ever near him. And in this game, because we were talking about this last week, that he does this, but it's because Juju and MVS and those guys are down the field and they can cause problems for you, so you have to play those coverages. This game didn't even have that, and he was still doing it. Juju was gone immediately. Kadarius Toney basically gone was immediately. Mm-hmm. You just had to – it was Noah Gray, Travis Kelce, MVS, and that was it.
Miracle Hardman, who sucks. He's bad.
That was his first game back. He was
bad.
been injured this whole time, and he just shows up, and it's like, well.
He's running curl routes and won't run back towards the ball. He just sits there, waits for it to come to him. That's extremely low-level football.
You can't question Patrick Mahomes anymore. There's no more question. And this is the thing, too. Everybody's like, is he going to be healthy when he starts Super Bowl? Yes. That's right. And guess what? Even if he's not, it doesn't matter. Because whatever he had beforehand is not going to be worse than what he did in this game. And now he gets 2 weeks to recover off that. So he's going to be 100% in my eyes for that Super Bowl. There's no excuse of ankle or anything.
I don't like percentages. He'll be good. He'll be more than good enough. He'll feel really well rested. I can't imagine they're going to hit the practice field super hard.
I'll tell you this. No, they can't because, I mean, Travis Kelce getting injured in the last snap of practice, like that's what happened.
It's the curse. That's the cursed rep.
Yeah. I think just outthink it. If you're Andy Reid, say we're going to run 70 reps, and then at 69, stop it. You know what I mean? Just do that. Just don't tell anybody. And it's like, all right, we're done. Everybody's like, what? Okay. Whatever. But I'll tell you one thing. It's a guarantee for the Super Bowl, even though we're 2 weeks away. Travis Kelce will be the first touchdown of that game. He's been the first touchdown in each games for these past 2 weeks in the Super Bowl.
Was he the first touchdown in this one?
Yes, he was the first touchdown. They had field goals all the way up until, and then he caught the first touchdown of the game. And he did it against the Jags.
Yep.
He's going to be the first touchdown of the game. Super Bowl against the Eagles. It's going to be Travis Kelce scoring a touchdown, and he's going to look over at his brother in the sideline and do something. I'm calling that right now. I don't know what it is. He's doing it, though. Put all your money on that one. Put all your money on Travis Kelce first touchdown score in the Super Bowl.
Did you see the taunting penalty that the Chiefs right tackle got?
So stupid.
I mean,
what was he doing?
He ran up to him like this.
He was like birding it. He was like, ooh.
Then the penalty happens, and then Patrick Mahomes fumbles the throw.
Yeah.
I mean, just there. He is like.
He's so lucky they won.
And that's Andrew Wiley. He was the 8th man on the roster when I was at minicamp there. Like, he was the guy that's next to get cut. And he survives Mitch Schwartz and free agency to start. He has a great story. That's and
it all came to an end.
And I was watching him. I was like, oh no!
That's just so stupid.
So stupid.
There's one thing as an offensive lineman that you don't want to look over and see is your head coach, Andy Reid, pointing at his head at you. You just don't want that. How sad is that thought? That he's sitting there. He probably played after those possessions, he probably played the best he's ever played. If you go back and watch that. Because it was like, whoops, time to lock in completely now. I don't care about anything. That was one of the stupidest penalties. And then you have Mahomes, it is.
Forget how to throw a football. Hey, God bleeds.
No, it's the first fumble he's ever had in the playoffs. It's 4 degrees outside.
He just couldn't feel it.
Yeah. I just couldn't hold it. He just couldn't hold it.
He probably couldn't feel his hand, so he's just.
And the worst part is when you watch him try to get it. Did you see his ankle cave in too? I was like, oh no. So I mean, if he had a healthy ankle, he probably falls in the ball and it's no big deal. And we just say, oh well. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, no, that there was so much of that game that was so fun to watch, and it had everything. That is up there for me as probably one of the best playoff games ever.
Do you agree, Devlin?
Bills Chiefs.
That was good.
It came down to the coin.
But and that's why it sucks, right? Like it ended off of a technicality in the playoffs, which by the way, we still haven't had overtime in playoffs yet for the new rule to take in effect. Will it happen in the Super Bowl? I don't know. No, it won't. Chiefs by 20. But I will say though, this game ended because it ended. Like people were like, I can't believe this game ended on a flag, and it's like it didn't end on a flag. The flag that happened was warranted. It ended on it was a 45-yard kick by Harrison Butker. And if you've been following Harrison Butker all season, he sucked. He has sucked all season long. He made it when it counted. Look, give it to him. That's why Andy Reid wanted to stick with him, I guess. But he sucked during the regular season. That guy missed more extra point opportunities. If you go back and look, he was not good. He was not consistent this year.
I'd rather have that in the playoff than Brett Maher. Hey, if you're a kicker and I know your name, that's a bad thing unless you're Justin Tucker. Is that his name? I think it is.
Justin Tucker? Oh, yeah. I mean, Justin Tucker is Justin Tucker.
If I know your name as a kicker, that is an awful thing.
But, yeah, the 49ers-Eagles game, that game was just a travesty. Yeah. Just a travesty. I mean, because really, if Brock Purdy doesn't get hurt in that game, I mean, didn't they scored first, right? Christian McCaffrey on the ground. Did they not score? Was it Eagles? Miles Sanders scored first. Okay, but still, their first drive with Purdy, they scored, though. And so I think that I know you can play the revisionist and all that kind of stuff and the what-if game, but I think if Brock Purdy's out there the whole time, the game's at least close. Do they get the same result? Probably. It's probably a win for the Eagles, but that game's much closer.
Yeah, I think the Eagles are they're open as the favorite. 1.5 points, right, Dev?
Yes.
Yeah, 1.5 points. They open as the favorite, and I think they're going to live up to that hype. I know they're playing against Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce because and that's it. That's who they have to worry about on the Chiefs roster.
It's simply the best duo. That's all that I will say. This is if the secondary can just cause some problems, and if Chris Jones can just stop the middle. If he stops the middle on the defense, I don't see Jalen Hurts throwing his way out of it. If they can shut down the run somewhat, then they're hindered immediately. And on the defensive side, we know that the Philadelphia sucks at stopping the run when there's a pass attack. So in Isaiah Pacheco, once again, I've said this many times on these airwaves, anybody puts on a Chiefs uniform and plays running back, it's going to work out for you. But that guy brings a whole element that the Chiefs just need. Not some top 10 runner, but just the ability to make one guy miss and just get the first down.
Yeah. Now, we've talked a lot about the teams that are left. I want to talk about Cincinnati because someone in that locker room, let me make sure I have time. Yeah, someone in that locker room needs to solve the Eli Apple situation. And maybe I'm overthinking it.
His mom deleted her Twitter. Did you see that?
Well, she's back on it. I saw.
Oh, is she back now?
I saw it a few hours ago.
That's less fun.
Because man, all this talking, like I get. At the end of the day, they're young men trying to have fun, right? That's mainly what it is. But wow, did you see how fired up the Chiefs were after the win? Like they were like, oh, bro, like they.
No, that was a problem.
Think
the mayor.
Why do people want other people at their best? When Muhammad Ali was fighting Sonny, you know what he was doing? He was driving to his house at 2 a.m., honking his horn and standing out in front of it. Because it's mental warfare. He didn't want him at his best. He wanted him to think he was a freak. He wanted this guy. He wanted to win at all costs. What happened to that? So don't give me that excuse like the Bengals are talking trash because they want the Chiefs at their best. No, I don't want them at their best. I want to win the Super Bowl. I hope I hope Brock Purdy. Like if your quarterbacks are all hurt and you can't play anymore, okay, I get another game check. My family eats more. So the Bengals need to chill out with all that trash talking they've been doing. It is ridiculous.
Joe Burrow doesn't do it. And I think because of Burrow head, Burrow needs to figure out a way to stop that.
Burrow needs to go have a 30-goon beatdown on the mayor.
Yeah, the mayor's out, right?
The mayor.
Did you see, by the way?
You should get unelected.
After we played that video on Friday when it came out about him doing all that stuff and Burrow Day or whatever, all they said, he went back on Twitter and was like, Cincinnati, I hear you. Got my competitive side just got a little kind of crazy. And then now he's lost. And all of his mentions are Chiefs fans and Cincinnati fans that hate him. I mean, he's not getting reelected from this. I hope not. I truly hope not.
Frankly, good.
That was so funny. He was just like, I got a great video idea. They're definitely going to beat. Like, he asked that too. He probably doesn't even follow football that much. He was like, they're definitely going to beat him, right? And somebody was like, oh yeah, for sure. Like he's never lost to him. Like just talking. He's like, yeah, I got a great idea for a video. Then
that is the worst. Also, the fact that people entertain that argument, and it's something we have to bring up just so like the audience knows. But like if you're going into a serious pick or like putting money on a game, and you're like Joe Burrow's or Patrick Mahomes never beat Joe Burrow.
Yeah,
and that's your only argument.
Never going to happen.
That is like the most Fox argument I've ever heard. That's just insane.
615-844-5600. If you want to jump in, we want to talk to you. Got to run to a break. Hit the phones when we come back here on the afternoon stretch.
Good afternoon. Cleanup continues on this truck crash that happened a couple of hours ago north of town on 65 northbound, just past Trinity Lane. It's just been it's been a nightmare just trying to get north of the city. Again, it's still crawling as we check it out live. 65 again here at Trinity Lane. It's affected other routes like 65 over here at Metro Center. That's a little bit slower than normal as you approach Rosa Parks. It's a steady flow of traffic on 24 now past Bell Road, continuing into Rutherford County. Lots of radar in Rutherford and also out there in Smith and Wilson County. Snapdragon Hemp, serving up lab-tested top-shelf hemp products across Tennessee, edibles, flowers, concentrates. You can order online at snapdragon420.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Attention, if you owe back taxes to the IRS, this message is for you. Congress has passed $80 billion in funding to more than double the size of the IRS. 87,000 new IRS employees means more audits, collections, and penalties. This will make the IRS larger than the Pentagon, State Department, FBI, and Border Control combined. Now is the time to call Civic Tax Relief.
I owe the IRS $37,000. Civic Tax Relief basically represented me against the IRS, and by the time everything was completed, I didn't owe the IRS anything.
Their tax resolution specialists can stop the IRS from taking money out of your paycheck.
With Civic Tax Relief, they were able to save me upwards of $80,000 that I would have had to pay.
For your free tax relief information, call now. 800-841-0908. 800-841-0908.
I would recommend anyone who has a tax problem to contact Civic Tax Relief.
800-841-0908.
Dazzling diamonds, royal rubies, elegant emeralds, and stunning sapphires. Now's the time to discover an exquisite variety of radiant, prize-winning jewels that are set to take your breath away. This gorgeous, one-of-a-kind display won't be found at the finest jewelry stores, but rather at your nearest Tennessee Lottery retailer with Jumbo Bucks Jewels Instant Games. Collect glistening top prizes of up to $300,000 and make every win sparkle. Only from the Tennessee Lottery. Game-changing fun. Please play responsibly.
As a professional realtor in Nashville for more than 40 years, Richard Courtney is one of the city's top-ranked real estate brokers. He's also the author of 2 books and the real estate columnist for the Nashville Ledger. What does all of this mean to you as a home buyer or seller? Expert knowledge, guidance, and trust. Give Richard Courtney a call today at 615-300-8189. That's 615-300-8189 or online at richardcourtney.com.
It's the afternoon stretch with Zach Williams and Bruno Reagan.
I gotta tell you something. It's kind of a self-embarrassing story. I'm just hanging out with my mom, and she's watching My 600-Pound Life.
Great show.
The woman was 670 pounds, and her boyfriend, I'm like, no way. Looks like me.
The afternoon stretch. Afternoon stretch with Zach Williams and Bruno Reagan.
Follow the afternoon stretch on Twitter at Bruno Reagan and Zachariah W. Really, man? You want that? I'm not spelling that out.
The afternoon stretch. Bruno Reagan. Devlin McKenzie, Zach Williams. I hadn't heard that promo in a little while. That's a good one.
That is a good one. I like that one. Thanks for reminding me, too, because that guy did look like me.
I want to go back and find that episode. Just be like, there's Bruno.
Awful.
615-844-5600. Jeff of the Borough. Jeff, how you doing, buddy?
All right, Zach. How you doing?
Doing well. Did you have a good weekend?
It's all right. Yeah, watch a little football, more basketball, but a little bit. Watch a little bit of that.
Did you watch that Bama team get upended?
Oh, yeah, I watched a little bit. I watched the first half, but all you need to watch when they shoot 68%, and they'll make 13 or 14 shots. But all you need to watch. You don't need to watch anything on the average 64 and score about 94. And it's pretty much over with when they get 50 in the first half.
Mm-hmm.
So they got pounded, which was good. So maybe Vanderbilt will pound them Tuesday night. I'd like to see that happen. I don't know if it will or not, though.
I don't know about that. They're gonna probably bounce back, I imagine.
Oh yeah, they probably will, but you never can tell. Maybe the rims will clankety clank, about like Kentucky did in the first half. Kansas couldn't make any free throws, and then couldn't get any stops in the second half. So that's about the size of that. But Rupp Arena was a great atmosphere Saturday night. I'll give them that. They packed it in there and made it real loud. It sounded good. So sounded good first time in a while. It sounded like that. So it sounded real good, and they played all right. So you just gotta get it back and play the Kermit Davis man this week. I think forward to Saturday. So I hope they pound on me. It's about 60. I hope if I was Cal, I'd pound him real good, and then maybe he'll get fired next week. It'd be nice, but I think he's on the verbal hot seat right now. So we'll have to wait and see what happens at the end of the year. But I guess you guys are counting down baseball season, huh?
It'll be fun.
I'm excited for Vandy baseball for sure.
That's what I'm talking about, Vandy baseball.
Yeah, no, I'm very excited. They should this year really the excuses of a lot of last year should go away because the staff that they're pulling in this year, the rotation and the bullpen they're going to have, on the bump. They're a top tier coming in, as they usually are.
It really felt like Vanderbilt got a cop-out last year for, like, how they underperformed, especially against other SEC teams, a la Tennessee.
You're allowed one bad year when you're that dominant.
And it's not like it was bad. They won, 30 games in the regular
they
season?
still, that's what we talked about last year. A bad season for Vandy is one of the best seasons.
Same thing with Kentucky in basketball right now.
Still making it to regionals, almost win regionals, almost went to super regionals, so their team is still top end of the league, but of the college baseball period.
So where they heading? California first weekend?
Actually, I don't know their schedule off the top of my head right now.
I didn't know if they were going to California.
No, in Vandy, they're going to Hawaii probably. I mean, it just feels like that's always where they're going to start.
The athletic department has a racket over
I know
there.
they probably got somewhere. I know Tennessee's going somewhere, some kind of college deal. They're playing like 4 or 5 different teams or something that first weekend. So I'm not sure who all they're playing, but I think they're going to Houston or somewhere like that.
I think they're in Texas. They're in Texas for that kickoff event or whatever.
Or whatever it is. So it won't be too much longer. Maybe the warm weather get here and all this rain. We've only had about 10 inches this month, so we've had enough this month for the next 6 months. We don't have to worry about any more rain for a good while. We can be in New Zealand though and be flooded to death. We wouldn't have to worry about rain for 3 years. You see all the rain over there?
No, I haven't kept up on my New Zealand news.
Well, it's been on the news. It's flooded. They got like I think 40 times or 4 times what they get in a normal month. They got like 4 times in one day. As far as what they measure how they measure their rainfall or whatever. It was so bad the schools are closed till I think for all week. They've been closed all last week and all this week. Schools are closed up. Roads are flooded.
In New Zealand?
Yep.
That's tough.
So
I hope they're all
bad.
okay over there.
It's just so bad over there that just about everything's closed up.
Wow.
It's at everything. So, and all that kind of stuff.
I appreciate you calling in, Jeff. 615-844-5600 if you want to jump in. It's the College Baseball Showdown. That's what it's called. I couldn't remember what they called the event, but they're going to be in Austin, Texas, playing over there at Globe Life. Start off February 17th. This is the Vandy boys taking on TCU, then Oklahoma State, then Texas through the 17th, 18th, and 19th. So that'll be fun when they get it all kicked off, and then first home game will be here in February 21st against Central Arkansas, who is 100% going to catch these hands, because I remember watching, it was Jack Leiter. This was the COVID year, I guess, technically. It was 2020, but they got to start off against USA, South Alabama. And it was Jack Leiter and Kumar Rocker, I believe. It might have been just Jack Leiter that first night. But anyway, they had the pitching rotation that just was like 18 strikeouts in this game against South Alabama, and you can just tell, you can just see when the guys are walking up, there's like, what are we doing here? Like, what are we doing? Is right after Vandy won the national championship as the first game back. Yeah, they were.
Couldn't be me. I would hit dingers, right? I don't care who's pitching.
You guys show up, right? You got to have a little bit of it in you that you're just like, I'm gonna show up and play here, And no, didn't happen. Didn't happen though.
Well, then you swing at pitches that Kumar throws at the dirt, and you're like, "How'd that happen?"
Yeah.
You're like, "Why'd I swing?"
Gosh, man, that was the most fun watching pitchers I've ever had.
Yeah,
Kumar and Jack Leiter, just absolutely devastating other teams.
Christian Littlefield,
Christian Littlefield. Oh man, yeah. People just go ahead and jump in on that. If you don't understand why he said Littlefield, then you're not going to be able to.
You're not a stretcher.
You're not a stretcher. You haven't been listening around long enough.
We need to gaslight our viewers more.
All right, just lie. Patrick Mahomes played really good football last night.
I know. Well, one what's it called? One little storyline is this is Andy Reid also playing against the Eagles.
And that has got to be the catalyst, by the way, why everybody thinks the NFL's rigged. They're just like, how does Andy Reid play his old team?
Yeah. Kelsey Bros, which is first time ever brothers playing against each other.
Also, first Super Bowl 2 black quarterbacks.
Yep.
That's
Jalen
awesome.
Hurts, Patrick Mahomes.
A lot of firsts going on here. A lot of firsts.
Also, Chicago fans, Patrick Mahomes' dad goes on, I guess, radio now. I didn't even know his dad existed, so this is a first.
His dad's former MLB player.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. With the Mets, I believe.
Well, anyways, he goes and he's talking
Shocker. High-end athlete. Had a father that was a high-end athlete.
Yeah. I have, now completely sidetracked. I'm a TikTok consumer, and I saw this one lady post a video of her son playing, like, middle school football, and she said his dream's the NFL. I think he'll get it. And I'm just...
Is your dad in construction or is he in the NFL?
Exactly. I made it pretty far, and I made it because my mom is an extreme athlete. You're a random white lady. It's going to be tough.
Racist, but okay.
Well, true. You're not playing cornerback. I'll tell you that right now. You lost half. You can't play half the positions in the league.
Are you good at pulling blocks?
You better. All right. You and your husband are both white. That boy better be Travis Kelce or 300 pounds. Yeah. Pick one. He was middle school, like running routes. I'm like, nope, this isn't working.
You run a button hook and you find space in the zone. That's what you do. All right, go ahead. What were you talking about? Patrick Mahomes' dad.
Oh, okay. They're great. Bears fans, how sick are you? How sick are you right now? And I love Justin Fields. Love him. I have a man crush on Justin Fields.
You do. You are a fanboy of
I'm not afraid to admit it. I think that guy has all the potential in the world. Man, if I was a Bears fan, I would be on top. Bears fans
it's easy to say that now.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's easy to say that now. What happened is Patrick Mahomes' dad went on a local radio station in Kansas City and said the Bears told him he was going to draft him. At 3. And of course,
they traded up at 3 and took Mitch. But the Bears were like, he got Bruno Reagan before it was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was the whole thing. Now Bears fans can sit there and say, we could have been here. It could have been us. And it wouldn't have. It wouldn't have. Patrick Mahomes wouldn't be Patrick Mahomes if it wasn't for being in the Chiefs system, if it wasn't for being with Andy Reid, if it wasn't having Travis Kelce, if it wasn't having Tyreek Hill. He is now to the point where it doesn't matter who his wide receivers are, but at the beginning of it, to have the best of the best, to build the confidence that you are, and then defenses have the fear of who you are and what you've done.
He also got to sit out a year. A lot of people forget that.
Yeah, behind Alex Smith, who's also was a good quarterback to learn from. So there's a lot there that just because you draft Patrick Mahomes doesn't mean you're all of a sudden going to be this top tier. Nobody had Patrick Mahomes on their radar of, oh, he's the next, greatest of all time coming through. Nobody had that. And he's 27 years old. What he's done now has been amazing. And we're like I said this yesterday, we're going to see that Bengals, Joe Burrow versus Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes AFC Championship forever. We're going to see it forever. It's going to happen until both of these guys quit because they're the best in the AFC. That's just those are the two best quarterbacks in the game going at it right now. But yeah, no, just because the Bears could have drafted him, probably best for everybody that they didn't, and they can just be obscure and gross.
The Bears don't even want to be in Chicago.
I hate Chicago. I hate the whole place. I hate all the teams there. They're stupid.
Windy City.
The Bulls are dumb. Who cares? Michael Jordan's actually dumb too. So there you go. LeBron's the greatest of all time.
Wow. That was hot take radio in
Chicago Blackhawks. Stupid.
Time.
Racist name. Change your name. What else can I do?
I wrote a paper, or I did a speech for my speech class once in college, and I was talking about why the Redskins were a good or bad name. I literally can't remember what side I was on, but I was like, "What? How would you feel if there was a team called the Yellowskins?" And my teacher lost it. So
615-844-5600. We got to run to a break. Back after this here on the afternoon stretch.
Good afternoon. Still very busy at 24 as you continue out through Rutherford County. Still a mess on 65 northbound, just past Trinity Lane. Working an accident north of Nashville for the last, 2.5 hours. So just allow yourself extra time out here. All the major outbound routes have really increased with a lot of traffic. Snapdragon Hemp, serving up lab-tested top-shelf hemp products across Tennessee and the entire nation. You can order online at snapdragonhemp.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Nashville's first curling venue is here at T-Line Nashville. Come check out T-Line Nashville and experience the world's fastest growing winter sport today. Curling is a fun and simple sport that's a perfect outing for friends, corporate events, families, or parties. T-Line also has classic bowling and modern bowling mini games. With over 20 HD TVs, you can come watch your favorite teams and some of the best food and drinks here in Nashville in the large bar and grill area. They also have an outdoor area with a fire pit, and you can't forget the live music. T-Line Nashville is a one-stop shop for a great night out. Located at 106 Duluth Avenue and online at tlinenash.com, you can book your party now or give them a call at 615-439-1024. That's 615-439-1024. And make sure you give them a follow on Instagram and Facebook at T-Line Nash for all the news, events, and updates. T-Line Nashville. Nashville's first curling venue is here.
Are you over 50? Would you like to get up to 33% more income in retirement? Then call now for this free book, Annuity Do's and Don'ts for Baby Boomers, from a leading financial firm on maximizing your income in retirement. That's right, free. This free book reveals little-known truths about annuities in simple-to-understand terms that will help you make the right choices before buying an annuity. And it's free. As a bonus, we'll also throw in a free annuity rate report summarizing the rates and benefits from financially strong insurers.
Call 800-715-9880.
That's right, Annuity Do's and Don'ts for Baby Boomers and Annuity Rate Report, both absolutely free for calling today.
Call 800-715-9880. That's 800-715-9880.
Sponsored by Annuity General. Producers have the appropriate licenses for the products they offer. Increased income is possible using strategies suited to your goals and may require buying multiple annuities and holding them full term.
Golfers, tee it up this Thursday through Sunday at Edwin Watts Golf Shops for the Callaway Fitting event and be the first to score the new Paradigm woods and irons. The woods are engineered with forged carbon to maximize distance and forgiveness. The irons feature a forged face for increased launch speed and spin. A new paradigm in performance. Go to worldwidegolfshops.com and reserve your free custom fitting experience happening this Thursday through Sunday. Edwin Watts Golf Shops, home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee.
It's a Bill King Show.
In Little League football, they play it off. You can't do it in college football, Bill. You got to come up with a bunch of computers and some BCS cockamamie scheme. My answer was yes. It's unique. Absolutely love it. I go into my garage every day and make sure there are no dust particles on those BCS computers. I do that.
Weekday mornings beginning at 6 on Sports Radio 560 on 95.9 FM.
The show that makes the average person say, hey, I can do that. The Afternoon Stretch.
The Afternoon Stretch. We were just talking about this in the break. Everybody was so mad at Tony Romo, how the Chiefs game was done. I personally, and I'm taking my whole radio side out of this. I didn't notice anything that was just like, oh, this game is unlistenable. I was watching the CBS broadcast and listening to him, Jim Nantz. Jim Nantz does a great job. I know that. That's the main person you listen to.
Yeah, I mean, I think this take should get you excluded from ever going to that level. That's like calling Mitch Trubisky a good player. You're just like, I think Mitch Trubisky is a great player. Because, hey, if I can notice, Tony Romo couldn't speak English. Like, he was fumbling his words every single sentence. He couldn't complete a sentence. I
saw a lot of people hating it. I don't know. Did that change your watching experience?
Yes.
It really did.
It makes it frustrating. Even
it was that bad. It was awful.
I don't know.
I was streaming it on Discord to my friends, and we were all like, what is this guy talking about? He's one of the better quarterbacks in the NFL. Can't talk. And it was so loud, he was screaming like absurdly.
Well, yeah, that's Kansas City. You got to deal with it. I'll say this too. I'll throw out a caveat. Nobody cares. It's 4 degrees outside. They are sitting outside. They're like, they have the windows open. They're feeling it too, because who knows if they were just freezing as well. Maybe I don't know. I didn't notice anything personally. And I know Devlin said this. Greg Olson, they want to take Greg Olson. He's the best. Was that going to be your Super Bowl commentator? Greg Olson barely talks on broadcasts. He doesn't say anything.
He's a Super Bowl commentator?
Yeah, it's on Fox this year.
That's crazy.
Yeah, Kevin Burkhout, it's his first year.
Yeah, I was in the XFL with him.
First hour's done. Second hour coming up.
On air and online, Sports Radio WNSR, Brentwood, Nashville.
Tyree Nichols' stepfather, Rodney Wells, says after watching the video of his son's arrest, he got the sense that the officers involved knew how the encounter would end before they approached Tyree's car.
It was like they was on a mission, like they had already determined
the outcome of what they wanted to do.
A sixth officer involved in the arrest has been relieved of duty. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu welcomed Secretary of State Anthony Blinken to Israel.
This alliance is something that President Biden is committed to. I've known him for 40 years. He's a true friend of Israel, a true champion of this alliance, as are you.
Blinken will meet tomorrow with Palestinian leader Mahmoud Abbas. President Biden's in Baltimore to kick off a major rail tunnel construction project, which will be funded by the bipartisan infrastructure bill. At least 59 people are dead after a suicide bomber struck a crowded mosque in Pakistan. This is ABC News.
Never completely ready to adopt a teen.
For late nights writing English papers.
For your teen's music taste.
For dinners, where they talk more on their phone than with you.
For the first time, they call you mom.
You're never completely ready to adopt a teen, and you can't imagine the reward.
To learn more about adopting a teen, visit adoptuskids.org.
Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Adopt U.S. Kids presents Multiple Choice Parenting.
You've messed up your daughter's haircut. Do you A, get spiritual?
Mom, where's the mirror?
Beauty is within. Oh.
B, find the positives?
Less time blow drying, more time texting?
Or C, show empathy?
Mom, you really don't have to.
Twinsies.
I kinda love it. You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
For more information on adoption, visit adoptuskids.org. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
WNSR, Nashville Sports Radio.
Howdy, folks. I'm back to remind you about the best steakhouse in Music City, Bob's Steak and Chop House. The only place in Middle Tennessee to get A5 Wagyu steaks cooked to perfection. And when that special day rolls around to treat that special someone, make your reservation now at Bob's Steak and Chop House. From petite fillets to massive tomahawk ribeyes. When somebody asks where's the beef, you tell them Bob's Steak and Chop House. Make your Valentine's Day reservations now and treat the best in your life with the best in Nashville. Bob's Steak and Chop House at the Omni Nashville Hotel.
This is the Greg Pogue and John Burton Show.
The Grizzlies are a fun team. They're a really good team. They're playing extremely well. The Grizzlies have a reputation of getting under a lot of people's skin because they are a cocky, mouthy team. They're good. They back it up.
But somebody's got to do it. Somebody's got to be the heel of the NBA, and probably they're the heel right now.
And I think they enjoy that role.
Greg Pogue and News Channel 5's John Burton, WNSR, Nashville Sports Radio.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control of your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problem now by calling the experts at U.S. Tax Shield and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, so call now. 800-785-9132. That's 800-785-9132. U.S. Tax Shield. 800-785-9132.
Okay, it's happening. It's the afternoon stretch with Zach Williams and Bruno Reagan.
Everybody stay calm. Stay calm.
Let's take some calls from the public, shall we? Join the afternoon stretch now at 615-844-5600. Now here's Bruno and Zach.
Second hour of the afternoon stretch here on Nashville Sports Radio. Bruno Reagan, Devlin McKenzie, Zach Williams here inside the Strike and Spare Family Fun Center studio. 615-844-5600 if you want to jump in. Here till 6 o'clock tonight. We got an hour left, less than an hour now. And then the snow's going to come down apparently. It's gonna rain ice. That's what they said.
I saw a picture of Eric Bieniemy in a Titans outfit. Is that real? Can sources confirm?
Yeah, I think he's already taken the job.
Hey,
it's crazy.
Titans fans, we need to know our place. We need to know our place.
Where do you throw yourself in there?
Huh?
I'm glad you throw yourself in there.
I'm a Titans fan.
Yeah.
I'm a Titans fan unless anybody I know plays against them. Then I don't care.
Yeah.
But
They have to actually play.
yeah, that too. But I think Titans fans need to come to the cold, clear realization that we're a bottom tier organization in terms of like destination, almost all aspects. We're a stepping stone. And you're gonna hate this especially for me. It feels like they're the Vandy of the NFL. You can have success here, but it's not what people consider their end destination or their dream job. Fair.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's somewhat fair. I would say if I'm going to give Vandy of the NFL, it's going to the Browns. Just never win anything, really. That's what I'm going to give it to. And that's a slight on the Browns. But I think that there's a lot of people right now. I mean, we saw the hire. Kellen Moore today gets hired, goes to the Chargers. OCs are starting to drop off the board. And it sounds like there's no movement from what the Titans are doing. And I understand Titans fans are just throwing this out there. Oh, well, we're waiting to get either Matt Nagy or Eric Bieniemy. Well, Eric Bieniemy's definitely had chances.
You think in what world do you think Eric Bieniemy is coming to Tennessee to be an OC? He's going to make a lateral move to the Tennessee Titans.
A lesser program.
Well, a lesser franchise, lesser everything.
Yeah. That's
he's
the
going to
real
make a
side
lateral move?
And people say, well, he doesn't call the plays in Kansas City.
Yeah, he does.
That doesn't matter.
And he does also.
Well, even if he doesn't, or doesn't, it doesn't matter. He's the OC of the Kansas City Chiefs. He is the offensive coordinator for the Kansas City Chiefs, one of the best offenses for the past decade. He is that guy. And I think that alone should have already hired him if he wanted. Does he interview bad? Who knows? If there's something else out there, who knows? But he's had enough chances where the NFL has put such strict policy changes to get more minority coaches in the NFL. It should have been a done and easy hire. It should have already happened. A team should have already taken him. I think you know what I think Eric Bieniemy wants?
To be an OC?
He wants to be the head coach of the Kansas City Chiefs.
Oh.
Andy Reid's going to retire at some point. It's probably happening sooner rather than later because the guy is older. And, if he wins if he wins this Super Bowl against his former team, I mean, it's almost like mission done for him. And he could step in and be the Chiefs. The Chiefs would make him the head coach right away. That's what I think it is. I think he's just waiting his time out. He's like, yeah, I'm going to be the head coach of the Chiefs. I'm going to get to take this awesome rocket ship to the moon.
That would be a hilarious turn of events if he's interviewing just to do it, just for fun. But in reality, he has no plans to make a move.
I just don't believe he's going to. And then the Matt Nagy side, people would say, well, Matt Nagy could be the OC. And I agree with that. Matt Nagy is a terrible decision. He wants to be a head coach again. He's not just going to chill out. If he has 1-2 good years, he's gone. There's no future with Matt Nagy. It's only the present.
I think that's a good problem to have. I don't think that should deter you from hiring.
It could be a good problem.
I don't like that in the hiring process. Like, this guy would be great, and but the problem is if we have too much success, he would move on. Yeah, a lot of people would move on. That's part of the. I mean, look at the Falcons.
Yeah,
they became Titans 2.0 based off all the Titans' success of 2 years ago.
You fall into the trap of where the Titans are, which is just hire from within again, which I think is probably what's going to end up happening. I just see that happening. 615-844-5600. If you want to jump in, we want to talk to you. Let's go to Hendersonville. CJ, how you doing, CJ?
Hey, doing great. Want to dive in, keep it right here on point on the NFL and digging into the game last night, the later game with the Chiefs. And, I know there's been a lot of talk about the referee and the way that game was ref. And as far as the big play down the stretch there with the 15-yard penalty, which set up I wouldn't say a chip shot for Buckner, but a relatively easy field goal for him. And I thought of that in that situation as far as referees love to make a call at every level, and it takes a very mature referee to make a no call. And what came to my mind when we're talking about the late hit there on Pat Mahomes there late in the game, and I thought about an NHL referee. Isn't an NHL referee in a situation that's so schooled on a no call, on understanding, on late in the game, a championship game, third period, they're more, and I don't know if it's the culture over there to make that to understand, the ramifications of making a big call. Was it a late hit? Yeah, it was. But was it one that we just want to hand the game over? And I think the answer is no. I think it's a no call because I don't think we just want to let the ref – because in that situation, the referee's deciding the game. Maybe you swallow the whistle there and you've got a makeup call coming in overtime. But I feel like my mind was, what would an NHL referee done right there? And do we need to have maybe some of that talk going on?
CJ, I get that. I understand the rhetoric of that, but you also have to take into the account of what the NFL has put on a precedent of injuries in this one. And a play like that where it's as obvious as it can get, you're throwing not only a quarterback, but the quarterback for the NFL into a trainer, into a bench. I mean, there's so much rhetoric that if that was no called, it's up on the level of what the NFL had happened. What was it, 3 years ago, 4 years ago now in the 2018 NFC championship between the Saints and the Rams when they just missed a blatant PI, defensive pass interference, that would change the momentum of the game. I understand it was at the end of the game, and it's easy to say, well, that just decided that. It didn't. It was a call the same from the beginning to has to be at the end when the clock strikes 0. They have to be as consistent as they can. Now, were they consistent yesterday? No, but when something is that obvious and that clear that you have to call that, you have to call that. You just do. And it's not even just the quarterback side of it. If that's any other player, they call that. If that's week 3, they call that. If it's a wide receiver going out that way, they call that. That play is going to be called a million times. And let's remember, it was a 45-yard field goal going into the wind. That is a tough shot regardless for Butker. We were talking about that in the first hour. But I do understand that. I don't like the idea, though. I really think there needs to be – something has to change in the NFL that it's either every play is automatically reviewed to see if there was. They have enough money and enough people out there to say we can look here in New York or wherever that, okay, that was clearly a foul. This needs to be called. They need to do that and stop the pace of play for a second to say, okay, this was the foul. We got it in. Or they need to do what you're saying and kind of start swallowing whistles. But when something like that happens, it feels like it is a must. You have to call something like that. And Osai has to be better for that, too. He can't do that. And that's why he was so emotional after the game, because he knew. I was like, he knew he messed up.
Well, and I heard Andy Reid say something that was really enlightening to me before the game. He was talking about that specific game or that NFC Championship game, and it's almost like a Super Bowl. He said, you can't anticipate how fast this game is. He says, I don't know if it's adrenaline. I don't know what it is, but he said this game in these AFC Championship games and these Super Bowl games, he said NFL is already a fast game. He said it's just even on a different level and he explained it really well, and you kind of got some insight how brilliant he is. He said there's so much adrenaline, and when you're on the sidelines watching this game, he said I can't really explain to you how fast this game is, and that kind of plays in to that last play where you're playing at such adrenaline, such a pace that is really hard. And I think if you go back and look at that, Mahomes did a little bit of, I think he did a little acting job there too. I think he kind of, I think he kind of expressed that a little bit more too. But I understand that is a call that you have to make. But I just really hated to see the game come down to that situation. And that was, such a tough way for that one to end.
It is, but that's the skill set of football is in that massive adrenaline, in the speed of the game. Can you keep your wits about you? That's a skill set in and of itself.
Yeah.
And Osai is that. I mean, that dude was playing his tail off.
He had an amazing game.
He was playing his tail off. But that's the adverse side of it, I have no doubt the guy will learn from that. No doubt he'll learn from this experience. It'll be better because of it. But yeah, I think it's so unfortunate for a game to end that way because it's anticlimactic in a way. You're just like, oh well, there it goes.
Well, on the other side of it, the Bengals could have blocked the kick.
And given this into the Titans' direction, what the Titans need to do now to be able to compete against. You look at these two teams with young quarterbacks. The only way I think the Titans, looking at it from the next 3 to 5 to 8 years, compete with these elite AFC teams is you've got to go out and find a franchise quarterback, a top 5 quarterback? And to me, the answer is you got to swing hard at the draft. And even if you've got to give picks and move up, even if you miss, the only solution to me, you look at every one of these guys now that are playing at a high level. I know everybody wants to throw the Tom Brady exception out. These are all top picks. The Bengals were nothing until the day they gifted a number 1 pick with Burrow. You look at Mahomes, he's a top 10 pick. You look at all these quarterbacks, they're gold. They're in the top 10. And you have to draft a franchise quarterback in the top 5, top 10 picks. Now, did we miss on some? You look at Marcus Mariota. Yeah, that was a miss, but you got to get back up on your horse and you got to swing again. You can't go and try and find a guy in free agency because you're talking about elite level AFC quarterbacks now that are young and franchise There isn't a guy in free agency that's going to compete against these guys. There's 2 or 3 guys in this draft, and it's up to you and your scouting department to figure out which one it is, and you give up the resources, and you swing at them. That's your only shot to go after the Chiefs and the Bengals here in the next 3 to 5, 8 years.
I will say the Titans are getting the benefit of the doubt by proxy of they are one of the last teams to not have a young quarterback. So eventually we'll there will be too many we'll have to draft one. We might be able to get one at 30, but Zach, go ahead. I know you got a point too.
Oh, no. Hey, CJ, I appreciate the call, man. That was a great call. Yeah, so that was a great call. 615-844-5600 if you want to get in. 100%, I agree.
It sucks because Bryce Young, I look at Bryce Young, I'm like, this is a can't-miss prospect. How many times do we get a can't-miss prospect? I'm trying to think of people that I genuinely thought were can't-miss, because I didn't think Patrick Mahomes was can't-miss. I didn't think Baker Mayfield was can't. I thought you could miss with Baker Mayfield. I thought you could miss with Patrick Mahomes. I thought Josh Allen could definitely be a miss. I'm trying to think of quarterbacks where I was like, you can't miss with that guy.
Trevor Lawrence.
Trevor Lawrence was a can't-miss. That's true. He was can't-miss. To me, Lamar kind of got the Johnny Manziel treatment.
Yeah.
And I was like, this guy's going to be a stud, but I wasn't confident enough to say. I feel like Bryce Young is, just can't miss. That's going to be a good quarterback at the least.
To that point and to CJ's point, that's what we talked about last week or maybe 2 weeks ago now.
I just haven't watched enough of CJ.
Do the Bears say no to trading away their first pick and for the Titans' first pick in Derrick Henry? I don't think so. I really don't think so. You get Derrick Henry and you move back 10 spots. That is still where you're going to – because they're not in the quarterback conversation. They're with Justin Fields. Justin Fields is a good quality player that you have to surround with him, So I think there's something there that you really could move up. The conversation should be had. Rand Carthon, first job, day one, should be that.
Hey, if he did that,
you get the first-round pick.
I'd be head over heels.
Yeah, that'd be a win on both sides. Because, look, Titans fans are going to be upset, no Derrick Henry. But you got to change. You got to change.
I just don't think they're going to be able to pull it off. They're too far away from a team, Texans, who are already at 2, and they're going to get one of 2 can't-miss prospects. I haven't watched enough of CJ.
Yeah, you want to make sure you want to get one, though. Yeah. That's for the Titans side. You don't want to get Will Levis.
It really does look like we're trending that way.
I don't know. Devlin, you were going to say something. What were you going to say?
Can't miss quarterbacks. If you ask anybody up north, Joe Burrow was a can't miss.
Yeah.
And then potentially you could debate Deshaun Watson.
Joe Burrow was also a can't miss. That is true.
Yeah.
You cannot miss with this guy. Just if you need a quarterback, draft this guy.
And once again, but look in the situation that Joe Burrow came into. Joe Mixon was a good running back. He's progressed immensely. But then they end up getting Jamar Chase. They had T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, who is a huge factor in that wide receiver. They had a great wide receiver room already walking into that building. And at the time, Uzama was there as tight end, who C.J. Uzama was a good tight end as well. But
he's with the Jets now, right?
Yeah.
Kind of doing nothing with the Jets.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's the Jets. But it's about surrounding your quarterback, too. That's the other side. Patrick Mahomes, like I said, he had Andy Reid, Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce. I mean, he walked into a hard-fought offense already that was already good. He walked into a great situation, and it was there. So there is a way that it's done, but you throw some quarterbacks into the mix, and Marcus Mariota is a terrific one out of that, when Bishop Sankey is your running back and Kendall Wright is your best wide receiver. That's what you're going to get. It's going to be tough. It's going to be an uphill fight.
Well, then we're talking about drafting Bryce Young. What tools are we going to give him if we sell the house for him?
That's the other side of this equation. I don't know. And guess what? This is why they brought in Rand Carthon to be paid all the big bucks to answer it down the street. And guess what? You're going to have to answer it now because the Titans cannot fall backwards. You can't let it happen.
They're trending backwards so hard. It's unbelievable.
John Robinson, his first year, they went, 9-7, I think, the first year. That was his worst year, technically, because he didn't finish this season. Rand Carthon, you're going to be attributed to whatever John Robinson did. Everything you did is going to be compared. Put in a microscope. Your first few years, got to make it hit now. And that's the good side about the NFL. You can do that. You could be the worst team of the year, and then the next season draft Joe Burrow, and then go into the next season after that and be in the Super Bowl. That's what the NFL is great for. Because you could do that. In 2 years, you could be in the Super Bowl, wherever you're starting from. It's possible. You just got to put it out in the right way.
Super Bowl matchup, Jalen Hurts and the Philadelphia Eagles playing against Anthony Richardson and the Tennessee Titans.
Oh, man.
Never in a
Would he
million
go
years.
back to being AR-15 here in Tennessee? That's the question.
I would. I don't know what I would call him. That's a good name. I know he wants to get away from it, but I like it.
615-844-5600 if you want to jump in on the other side. When we come back, I want to switch up, talk a little bit about the NBA, more specifically a game that happened a few nights ago against the Lakers and the Celtics. If you haven't followed this one, you're going to want to hear it on the other side here on the afternoon stretch.
Good afternoon. They continue to work this crash north
Nissan
of Nashville on 65 northbound north of Trinity Lane. It's just causing a lot of delays in this area. Has been for the last 3 hours. Again, 65 northbound just dragging up around Trinity Lane. It's increasing even more on the south loop. The west loop still looks pretty good over here. I-40 as you head over towards Jefferson Street. Still watch for some radar. I-40 out through parts of the Lebanon area, Wilson County. Hey, Snapdragon Hemp, serving up lab-tested top-shelf hemp products across Tennessee, edibles, flowers, concentrates, online at snapdragon420.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Ad paid for by Anthem Tax Services. Attention, if you or your business is behind in filing your tax returns, or if you owe over $10,000 in back taxes to the IRS, please listen carefully. The IRS does not joke around and will not stop their collection efforts. If you're tired of the IRS letters, levies, liens, or wage garnishments and would like to get a fresh start, we can help. Due to the financial hardships in the country, the IRS is making it easier than ever to settle tax problems for those who owe more than $10,000. We can help settle your delinquent tax problems, end all collections, and may even reduce your back taxes significantly. Even if you can't afford to pay your back taxes, you can still get the help you need. We've helped thousands of taxpayers just like you, but you must call 800-240-4917 today to stop your tax problem from getting worse. The information is free and the help is real. Call 800-240-4917. That's 800-240-4917. Again, 800-240-4917.
Realtors abide by a code of ethics. This is Article 9 in action. Beth, a first-time homebuyer, knew nothing about the home buying process, except that she wanted to buy a home. But her realtor had the expertise to make sure Beth understood every document, even giving her copies to review with her lawyer so Beth could close on her first home with confidence. Complicated things explained in simple terms. The difference between an agent and a realtor is real. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
Bundling car and renter's insurance with Geico is so easy, your neighbors are probably already doing it. But who? Look for the signs. Chances are they live in a home and have a car. They use money and enjoy having more of it. They probably drink lots of lemonade. Lemonade. And they've probably said something suspicious like, "I'm bundling with Geico," or "Stop spying on me with those binoculars." If so, you may want to ask them how easy it was to bundle with Geico. Bundling is easy with Geico. Just ask your neighbors.
If you need a staycation or planning a trip to Music City, stay at Bento Living Chestnut Hill. Voted the best boutique hotel in the city by the Nashville Scene. Bento Living is located on the edge of bustling downtown and boasts on-site dining, shopping, live entertainment on the rooftop, and free fitness classes. Come experience Nashville like a local. Visit BentoChestnutHill.com to book your Music City vacation today.
It's the McFarland Show with Darren McFarland and Fox 17's Justin McFarland.
The Titans offseason is going to be a big to-do in this market. They have a new general manager in place, and there's a lot of uncertainty of where this team is going. What's their approach with a brand new general manager? Is it trim the dead weight, trim the fat, and try to come back and we're good enough to win it?
I think that's exactly what they're going to do.
Win a division?
I think that's exactly what they're going to do.
The McFarland Show with Darren and Justin on Nashville Sports Radio WNSR.
The afternoon stretch. The best show? I don't know if I can say that, man. I'm going to move on to the next one.
The afternoon stretch. Bruno Reagan, Devlin McKenzie, Zach Williams here inside the Strike and Spare Family Fun Center studio. If you want to get involved, 615-844-5600. We want to talk to you. Saturday, the Lakers and the Celtics played. And that game was very fun to watch. It was very fun. And it didn't get fun until the end, really, in my opinion. Basketball games are so fun to watch in the last 5 minutes. I just love it. That's when I really want to tune in because everything happens. But in that game against the Lakers, where the Celtics won that one 125-121, the worst missed call I think I've ever seen in my life happened. If you were watching this game, I mean, it sets up to be a storybook finish. LeBron James driving into the basket, final seconds of the game left, and he misses the shot. But he is clearly fouled. And then LeBron James goes into a...
LeBron James, if my Social Security card was stolen, I got $100,000 of debt put in my name, and my entire bank account was clean out, I would not react the way LeBron James reacted to getting fouled. It was absurd. He threw a grown man tantrum.
He did. And it's deservedly so because he was fouled it was Jason Tatum,
in a clutch
right?
part of the game where, hey, in the NBA, we've seen with the Lakers, they are always typically 1 to 2 games of sneaking in or out of the playoff. So every game matters.
And how apropos, too, of how that Chiefs game ends. We're talking about, I can't believe this game ends on a foul. This would have been the same way. It would have set. I mean, how much time was going to be left in that game, Devlin?
Not too long.
It was a second or two.
It was going to seal a win.
It was going to seal a win. They were going to put LeBron to the line. He just has to make one, and they win the game. And LeBron was going to make it. He was going to make one of them. Well, he doesn't get fouled. They don't call it. They go into overtime. The Lakers just quit. It seems like they just quit in that overtime, and they end up losing. But a whole host of things happen in the meantime. As they're going into overtime, Pat Beverly goes and grabs, I guess, a reporter or somebody said, oh, look, I have a photo of him getting hit of his arm. And you see, I mean, the video, it's so clear. You just see it happen. But he takes the camera and he walks up to the head official and says, look, he fouled him. And he gets a tech.
Gave me PTSD because my dad did that once for me in wrestling.
Did he really?
My dad was recording a wrestling match, and I was wrestling against a pretty good guy, and I took him down. I took him down. Like, I took the guy down. Then they were like, no takedown. And I was like, whatever. I don't get that emotional when I'm
You never lost in high school, so it doesn't matter. So you won this one, clearly.
Yeah, I was like, okay, I'll do it again. And my dad was like, I have it right here. He's talking to the ref, and the ref's like, does he have my good side? And my dad knows I don't like him. But it gave me PTSD seeing Pat Beverly do that. But it was also hilarious. It's like, look at this.
He gets tacked up for it. Hilarious.
Worth it, by the way.
So worth it. And then LeBron has like the all-time meltdown ever. Chandler Parson on FanDuel TV. Don't know what that is. I guess it's a station.
They have their own network, I guess.
Fun.
Fun.
Went and he said this on here. He said, I can watch my French bulldog get ran over by the mailman right now, and I would not react like that.
He stole my joke, but it was way funnier. I could watch my bulldog get ran over, and that's what like meth heads on the street look like. Yeah. I don't know. I can't remember the last time I've seen a human being react like that to something.
He looked like he was going for an Oscar. I mean, it was all that Space
Chris
Jam
Rock
2.
got slapped in front of millions of people.
And just held it.
And it's just like, all right.
LeBron was going insane. He was running all over the place.
He went sicko mode. Anybody ever hear that song? LeBron looked like he was at a Travis Scott concert.
Then later on, I believe this was yesterday actually, the official NBA refs Twitter account.
Oh my God, this was also pathetic.
This is very pathetic. I think this is something in culture now that we have with sports that it's like you see it a lot with the SEC officiating, how they have to come out and say like this happened and are bad.
And it's mostly about Vanderbilt football games. But go ahead.
Yeah, this tweet comes out. This is one of the lowest T tweets I've ever seen ever.
T meaning testosterone.
Yes, I mean like everyone else, referees make mistakes. Shut up. Why do you have replay in the game? You know what I mean? Which NBA does have. We made one at the end of last night's game, and that is gut-wrenching for us. This play will weigh heavily and cause sleepless nights as we strive to be the best referees we can be.
The NBA. God, I don't want to sound there's so much I want to say, but keep it in the sports world. Yeah, I mean, I think you said it best. That is the lowest testosterone tweet I've ever seen in my life. Get over it. We made a mistake. We screwed up. Sorry.
We're gonna have sleepless nights. I can't sleep. I'm sorry, LeBron. I'm so sorry.
I'm saying, this is me if LeBron had that breakdown in front of me and I was a ref. This is me the next night. Get over it. Also, LeBron, like
tossing and turning. I need milk to help me sleep tonight. I made a bad call. I mean, shut up. That is the stupid. Could you imagine anybody actually reading that and thinking, I feel bad for these officials. They have it really bad.
I mean, whoever wrote that tweet
does not.
Your wife chooses where you guys eat.
Well, honey, I think I want to go to Chili's. No, Bob. We're going to Charlie's again.
You've always been stupid, Bob. You know that?
You're nothing like your brother.
Oh! God, I don't know. The rage I would feel. I would be going 110. I'd be going 110 down the neighborhood. And
you'd be like Stan, from M&M, just drinking for the vodka. You demi and drive, like.
No, don't play with me. I'm not well. Don't play.
Yeah, no, that tweet was the stupidest thing I've ever read. Yeah, that was the dumbest thing I've ever read that somebody put out.
Shall we, LeBron?
Shall we? We're going to have sleepless nights.
If that was any other team, by the way, and not LeBron, that tweet does not see
the light of day. Never. No.
That's what's the worst part about it. LeBron is still crying about it to this day.
LeBron has that league by the balls, by the testicular hand.
That tweet was translated into Mandarin and a bunch of other, you know what I mean? It was put out to appease
those
LeBron.
Referees. Yeah, those referees that night. Get ready to learn Chinese, buddy.
No, that was so stupid. That was so stupid. Look, and I'll say this. The play should have been a foul. Like, you're a big Boston Celtics fan.
I am.
You would love to see the Celtics win the game. That was a foul.
It was a foul. And this isn't the first time refs have missed calls. It happens all the time. It just hasn't gotten blown up like this before. Yeah. This is ridiculous. And what's the best part about it is, to me, is LeBron still crying about it 24 hours later, posting on his Instagram story, tagging Jason Tatum in the post of the clip of him being fouled and said, "Nice block." And then Jason Tatum pretty much quoted it and was like, "Yeah, good game, man. Whatever. I dunked on you."
Yeah, Jason Tatum also, hey, LeBron's not. Jason Tatum, you know what he does? He plays in NBA games. Probably, I'd imagine, watches the bare minimum amount of film and practice work. He's a genetic freak, goes, plays at an elite level, and then he goes home and probably plays Fortnite with Tyreek Hill. He doesn't care. LeBron's the one having sleepless nights.
Jaylen Brown was like, "Oh, I didn't see it," and you just see the video. He's clearly watching. Like, he's right next to the arm. Like, his eyes are right there looking at it. Slab. He's like, "I didn't see it afterwards."
Every player in that post-game presser got the same question asked to him, and all of them were like, "There's a lot going on in the game. Sometimes refs might miss something. Maybe they did. I don't know. Good game.
It really does open the question because, once again, like what we're talking about, a lot of people wanted to talk about with the AFC Championship game is the consistency of officiating. And that's what we're talking about with the NBA as well in this. What do you do?
Bring sports science back.
Yes. First off, yes. What a great show. I mean, remember when Ray Lewis just ran through all those walls? That was awesome. But I don't know what you do other than the only option, and nobody wants it. Nobody wants this option. But it's the only option that can shut everybody up from now on. Every play is reviewed. That's it. That's it. Every play is reviewed.
No.
Nobody wants it. I get it.
LeBron's like, what if we reviewed every play that I was in?
I'll hire the camera crew.
Oh, just wait until the review burns LeBron. And here's the truth about the NBA. They have to change the rules every year for whatever LeBron's feeling like, you know? Officially, I'm a LeBron hater. Jordan was better. LeBron's a baby.
See? Doesn't it feel good?
It does.
I think that you have to review every play. That's the only way.
You could run over my French bulldog. And
I mean, that's crazy.
Like
you have to, but because then you'll have 100% accuracy. Yeah. And even then, there's going to be one that's going to be up for interpretation and all that kind of stuff. Especially with the NFL, when you look at what's a wide receiver move and all that kind of stuff, there are room for interpretations. But in the NFL, if every play has holding, then you need to review every play, and every time there's holding, it needs to be called. The game is going to last an extra hour, but nobody can complain and say the officials got it right or wrong. That's just how it has to be. Every play. Or you get, like how the MLB is going towards, with robot umps, which is going to be a crazy thing.
As an outsider of the game of baseball, I feel like the umpiring should be. I feel like that's something that could genuinely be done from an artificial source. Because in the little baseball I've watched, I've seen enough mess ups. There's been some bad ones, but maybe that is part of the spirit of baseball.
Well, and that's a bigger question for all of us, right? Like, at what point are we gonna say it's okay to have human error in the game, whatever game it is? Because that is a part of it. That's the contest of this.
Well, all the records, you move to AI and everything's so precise, like it kind of invalidates all the records because the game was entirely different.
And then also you go in and say, I mean, at what point do you just have AI play the game? You know what I'm saying? I'm getting really meta with this, but Joe Burrow throws an interception because of a human error. He didn't mean to throw it that way. He didn't mean to put it where it went. But if you take that out, I mean, human error is inertly inside of the game. Inherently in the game. That's what I'm going to say. Inherently in the game. So how is officiating going to be any different? It's either a suck it up and shut up about it, or it's review everything and take it all out. Take all the decision-making of the human element out of it. That's it. That's your options.
I, for one, if we keep doing reviews, I will throw myself into a meat grinder. So I'm sick of it. I'm sick of reviews in baseball. I'm sick of reviews in football.
It's in every sport. I mean, even the UFC has reviews.
Sucks.
To make sure about eye pokes and things like that.
It sucks. I just wait. I don't know. It throws off the pace. As someone who competes in it, it throws off the pace of the game immensely.
100%.
Like, I'm just standing there. I feel like the Slender Man. You remember when that was a thing?
You're not slender at any point. You are a man. I'll give you that.
Hey, you know what I was saying. And I don't blame you for going on that one, because that was an absolute layup.
I was just
softball toss.
I mean, you open the door, I'm going to walk through it. You know what I mean? Going to walk through it. 615. It's got to be a big door, though. There, backing myself. How about that? 615-844-5600. If you want to jump in, we got to go to a break. But before we do, we got to talk about our friends over at Slim Chickens. Go check them out. Mount Juliet, Murfreesboro, and Hendersonville. I'm telling you, if you have not tried Slim Chickens, it is mind-altering. It is that different. You have to get in on these signature sauces that they have. I can't even, like right now, I'm thinking about the mango habanero. It is already making my mouth water, just dipping the chicken in it, but also the fries, the Texas toast that the meals come with. Oh, my goodness. You got to go try it. Download that Slim Chickens app. That's the best way to do it. You build points, get free entrees, desserts, all kinds of things, but you can have it delivered to your home, office, wherever you are. And you could do it like me. This is how I do it. I have it ready for curbside pickup. I just pull up, get it, and go. I don't have to wait anything. It's right there in my car. Get it on the way home, and then I have delicious slim chickens, and I am always about the tenders. I'm always about those tenders. I love the tenders. Great sandwiches, chicken and waffles, tons of different options there for you, but I'm a tender man myself. Go check them out. Once again, that's Slim Chickens, wings, tenders, and more.
Good afternoon. They continue to work with this crazy-looking truck crash. It's been out here for 3 hours on 65 northbound around Trinity Lane. Expect delays up through there for at least a while longer. A lot of traffic right now out here has been affected by that. 65 extra slow over around Metro Center. It's building down through Brentwood, Franklin on 65 through Williamson County. Lots of radar this afternoon. At least it was earlier in sections of I-40 out through Wilson County. Hey, Nash Painting services all of Middle Tennessee. You got to check them out online at nashpainting.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Are you tired of your current vehicle? Maybe looking for a new or pre-owned vehicle? Hey guys, it's Zach. Hayes Nissan of Rivergate is the best choice for your vehicle needs. Located at 1550 Gallatin Pike North in Madison, Hayes Nissan of Rivergate has been serving the Middle Tennessee community for over 3 decades. That gives you confidence that Hayes Nissan of Rivergate can find the perfect vehicle for your lifestyle and your budget. Their friendly and knowledgeable staff will make sure you are taken care of. I should know because I've seen it firsthand. Every vehicle I've purchased has been from Hayes Nissan of Rivergate, and I love the entire process. Now, I don't want you to forget about their award-winning parts and service department. It has everything you need to get you back on the road. Go visit them on the web at nissanofrivergate.com. They're open there 24/7, 365 days a year. Or give them a call at 615-865-7220. Again, that number is 615-865-7220. That's Hayes Nissan of Rivergate, where your dollar always goes farther.
Bundling home and car insurance with Geico is so easy, your neighbors are probably already doing it. But who? They may drop little hints like,
Beautiful day out. Even more beautiful since we saved by bundling our home and car insurance with Geico.
or,
Yard work is hard. Much harder than bundling with Geico, which was easy.
or it may be even subtler, like,
Speaking of burgers, we bundled our home and car insurance with Geico and saved a bunch of money.
bundling is easy with Geico. Just ask your neighbors.
In uncertain times, you can be certain of this. The Salvation Army is serving those most in need with help and hope. Thanks to your donations, the Salvation Army is helping those affected by COVID-19, those who've lost wages, who have no home to retreat to, who need food, help with utilities, and most of all, hope. To see how you can continue to make a difference, visit GiveWestwood.org. GiveWestwood.org.
Needing a snow day? How about a dough day? Instant games from the Tennessee Lottery are bringing winning flurries and drifts of cold hard cash. With chances at breathtaking top prizes up to $4 million. Sled to your nearest Tennessee Lottery retailer and score a chance at a dough day. Only from the Tennessee Lottery. Game-changing fun. Please play responsibly.
Five-state forecast.
Your exclusive Nashville Sports Radio WNSR Skyscan forecast for this afternoon. Winter weather advisory, a chance of some sprinkles, temperatures falling into the 40s. Utilizing the resources of the Weatherbug Network on Nashville
The
Sports
Jim
Radio.
Rome Show.
On
I get a lot of
WNSR's Rick
vacation.
Bennett.
I understand that. However, I don't take a lot of sick days. These things are not one and the same. That was not like I worked 8 straight days or I worked Super Bowl Sunday. I think I'll give myself a day off. I earned it. Hey, and by the way, I could because I have those days. I pride myself in not taking sick days. I hate that. We usually grind through it. But honestly, it was the right thing. In that case, it was the right thing.
The Jim Rome Show. Weekdays 11 to 2 on Nashville's Sports Radio.
The Afternoon Stretch, the show endorsed by News Channel 5's John Burton.
The Afternoon Stretch. Bruno Reagan, Devlin McKenzie, Zach Williams here inside the Strike and Spare Family Fun Center studio. If you want to get in, final segment, 615-844-5600. You know what's trending right now on Twitter, Bruno?
What? I'm looking. I don't see what you're talking. What you're thinking.
XFL 2023.
Oh, the competitor. I'm not supposed to talk about them or bring them up. I'm just kidding. We can talk about.
I was like, wait.
We can talk about whatever.
No, wait.
Yeah, I was. Yeah, and I don't mind being honest about it. A lot of people from the USFL, the XFL that I was in was very meticulous. It was ran like a very, very established business, I would say. It was there was no problems. This new XFL kind of was giving me, a little bit of anxiousness the way it was being operated. They were behind schedule comparison. And the USFL, frankly, they did the impossible and actually completed the first year, and then we're like, we're coming back for next year. So my decision was totally made. I've been meaning to ask one of my friends. I have a few friends in the XFL. How it's been, so maybe we could get someone on soon enough, and we'll just answer that on air with all of us.
Yeah,
because they will play the week after the Super Bowl. They will play.
Yes, I think because of course today they had their town hall meeting, whatever you call that, with the XFL, where all the players got together. They did media day stuff, all that kind of stuff. I think it is ran a little different because when you were in it, it was a rebirth of something new that hadn't been there since 2001. I think that's when that ended.
1 or 3. It was 1 or 2.
It was still, it was very long. It was brand new. It was done in the eyes of competing with the NFL. That was. I mean, Vince McMahon. I remember when he came out and gave his proclamation, like, we're going to one day compete on Sundays. That was like one of his things that he said. And this one feels like they're going to just kind of rebottle and repurpose what y'all did in that 2020 season, because what y'all shown outside of COVID, y'all shown that you could have a successful league. And then the USFL obviously did finally go all the way through season in these spring leagues. So I think it's just now it's a moneymaker. That's all the XFL just is. It's like they're doing it on the guides of we're going to be able to recapture some of that and just have it where it's a product that we're going to sell one day to some TV station.
Yeah, their product is taking a lot of early risk, though. They're playing in all their in which, hey, great. They have enough capital to play in all of their markets, and that's a good thing. That's gonna cost a lot. They were paying more now that the USFL CBA went. I think it's like basically even, or the USFL is a little more, but they're paying their athletes. Not as I don't know what the payroll of 50-some to 70-some players on 8 different teams making $60,000 a year would be, but I would assume it would come out to the millions. So payroll, and that's not including the employees for every single team. And the teams are all owned by the league, whereas I think Fox they own a percentage of the league, and they're shopping out a lot of these teams. I think, this is all speculation from me. As someone who knows nothing, I don't have any insider information, but I would assume that the team moved to Memphis because someone wanted a team in Memphis and signed a check. So there's that. I know the USFL is a Fox-owned league, so it's all the TV rights. They don't have to pay. I think the XFL might be paying for their TV rights at first until they can show their product and then maybe, cash in on it. So there's a ton of different things to the business where the USFL is the quote-unquote safer option, I think, by a long shot. But the XFL could be cool. I mean, it'll be cool to have football on in the spring. It's cool that a bunch of my buddies get to play more.
Yeah.
I mean, one of them's 31 years old, played with Cam Newton's Panthers, was the center, and played 6 years and just really loves football. Now he's a coach at a D2 college, and he's just going to play on the off season because he's like, it's cool. My players can see me play. Another one was a math teacher. Me and him kind of had like, all right, I'm not going to say that on air. Never mind. Me and him.
He was a math teacher, and he was cool.
He was a math teacher. He was cool. We were both in really bad parts of our life, and we were able to make the Battlehawks as the two like last chance guys. And he went from being a math teacher to now playing for the Vipers. So it's cool that there's a ton of jobs. Emmanuel Smith was a Vandy guy.
Well, you know what it does too? Like, even if you don't realize it or not, being a part of the USFL, like, competition makes things better. And that's what the XFL and the USFL
without a doubt.
are.
I have no doubt that's one reason why the Fox went to bat with our union, because the XFL is paying more. So that got us more money.
Yeah.
I'll take more money.
Yeah, exactly. So I think it's going to be it's going to be a better product for both of y'all, because y'all have each other to bounce back, and like, they're going to do something, and then y'all are going to take part of it, and y'all are going to do something. They're going to take part of it, and then it's going to make the whole broadcast, everything.
And I'm a company man. so I'm going to talk up the USFL.
Yeah, we're a USFL team. That's what we're a USFL show.
But at any moment, the Memphis Showboats could cut me and be within their rights to do it. And it's not like we could cry or anything like that. It happened to my kicker. I love Tyler Rassa. He was a big Showboat guy. I thought they would bring him back for sure. He played really well, won some games on his kicks, and got released. And now he's looking for an XFL team. So it's something where it's spring football. It's pro football. It's all the same risk as pro football, just a little less glamour to the life.
Now, what team do I support this year in the XFL? Because I'm going to be a fan of a team because I'm going to watch the product. That's going to happen. I'm going to watch it.
I
was a Sea Dragon fan.
They were the Dragons.
I know, but now they're the Sea Dragons, which is a much better name. I mean, you got to put that in there because you get Seattle and it just works. But do I abandon them now? Because you got the Battlehawks.
St. Louis. They'll have a lot of people at their games, no matter how iffy the league is.
The San Antonio Brahmas.
What is that? That's like a cow.
Yeah,
it's like a mutated cow.
Well, it's got to be something to do with also the Rock was also nicknamed the Brahma Bull. So there's got to be some connection in there. He's like, I want a team named the Brahmas.
Vegas Vipers. I think they signed Brett Hundley.
Oh, really?
I think they did.
Houston Roughnecks, the Orlando Guardians, the DC Defenders, and the Arlington Renegades.
Jordan Teamu's, I think, in DC, so that's
good.
Yeah,
good. Yeah. So I don't know. I haven't made my decision yet. Do I go back to my bread and butter? But see, the season ended. Everything's different now.
I know a lot of people at Arlington too, so Arlington might be a good one.
Arlington, huh? The Renegades.
Renegade.
TikTok, yeah, do the TikTok dance on that one.
Oh, we're gonna get copyrighted.
Darn it. I don't know, but I'm excited for it. I'm excited for it all get out. It's good to see that spring football. I've always been a big advocate. Well before I even knew Bruno,
it's cool when you go out to a bar or go to eat somewhere and there's football on and you're like, this is spring.
Yes, it's a good thing. It's a good thing. Well before I knew Bruno, I was doing XFL segments.
That is crazy.
On my show at the time.
Yeah, that is crazy. I met you after the XFL, right?
Yeah.
You had me on to talk about the XFL.
We had you on.
I forget our origin story.
I had you on the day, or is the week of the XFL
Closed.
went on. Yeah, closed. Yeah, I had you on that week because I was like, oh, hey, this guy played at Vanderbilt and he was in the XFL. Let's talk about XFL. And then you were like, yeah, they just told me to leave. I'm pretty sure you said that on the interview.
They said they gave us a week of paid expenses. Like they were like, you have a week to figure out what you want to do. So a lot of dudes were just partying so hard for that week. I just packed all my stuff up and went home.
Yeah. Probably the smart thing to do is what that is.
It sucks too because that year I hadn't talked to my agent in a while, but I was still technically signed with him if I ever do get an NFL contract. I hadn't talked to him in a while, which is fair. I was like, I'll handle the spring football stuff. It's not a big deal. He called me week 3 of the XFL. He's like, hey, the Jets are probably going to bring you in for a workout if you keep playing well, so keep it up. And, season goes under and COVID happens. It sucks. But.
Yeah. It's probably a nice bullet to miss, though,
Hey, man. I'd go play for the Jets. I'd play for any NFL team in a heartbeat.
Yeah, it's Jets, though.
But also, there's the fact that even if I did make it at this point, like to stay in that league and survive would take every ounce of my willpower all day, every day to compete. And that's when you get to 26, like that's football old. I know that doesn't sound old, but Osiris from the Bengals was 22.
Yeah.
Right? Like I'm considered old in that league. So to be as old as I am and have to fight with 21, 22-year-olds out of college for my position all the time, it doesn't sound the most fun.
Stetson Bennett's going to be your age in the NFL.
I know.
Stetson and Hendon Hooker, by the way.
Yeah.
Saw an interview with Hendon Hooker.
That's not good for them.
Hendon Hooker says that he's still one of the best he said he's the best quarterback in this draft class.
I don't believe you.
Where's he go,
not you. I don't believe him.
No, yeah. No, I knew what you meant.
Where does he go? Could be maybe play fiddle.
No, draft-wise. Not teams-wise, but like draft-wise, where does he get drafted?
I don't know. I don't know about Hendon Hooker because he's got the injury red flag on you.
Yeah, he had a great season. Yeah. Stetson Bennett, it feels like he's going to be drafted no matter what because somebody's going to at least take a flyer shot on him.
And I don't know if you've seen the recent story. Did you know he got arrested?
Yeah, I saw that.
Arrested for public intoxication. In my mind, his draft stock skyrocketed.
saw,
we now know that he has a little bit of that dog in him. I've been wondering about that.
I saw a tweet that said Dallas PD played better defense on Stetson Bennett than TCU did.
Well, they were posting the Baker Mayfield video of him getting tackled by Oklahoma PD, and they were like, Stetson Bennett's going crazy, and everyone ran with it. So much so that Twitter had to put one of the warnings like, this is Baker Mayfield getting tackled, not Stetson Bennett.
But yeah, you wonder where Hendon Hooker's going to go in the draft.
I don't think he'll be a very successful National Football League quarterback. Sadly, it's just a whole different world, and the only way we'll know is we'll see. I can be humble enough to say I don't know enough about quarterback, the small details of quarterback to know if Stetson Bennett, if Hendon Hooker would translate to like a starting quarterback in the NFL.
I saw a bunch of people too just already throwing out mock drafts. It is we're in mock draft season. I guess it's been so long that we got to mock draft season so quick here in Nashville because the Titans have been going to the playoffs, and at least going like a round or two deep. But now, because they didn't make it in, I'm already seeing just a load, and I mean a load of mock drafts, and they're all stupid.
What are the first picks for them?
I'm seeing people that are like, yeah, so I traded up, and
they like it's that easy.
And the trade is just so like stupid. And then they take like Jalen Hyatt with the number 1 pick. It's just dumb.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really stupid. The stuff that people are trying to get out of these trades. The Titans don't know who they're going to draft. They don't have an OC yet. They have no idea what their team is going to look like come actual draft time. It is wild right now. I don't know what the Titans are waiting on to get an OC. Don't wait on Eric Bieniemy. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think
I think they know that's not going to happen.
You got to find somebody soon. Start figuring out what your offense is going to look like to make a decision going forward.
Well, realistically, they could just not hire anyone until the draft's over this summer and OTAs start.
Yeah, they might. All right, we are done for the day. Appreciate everybody calling in, commenting, watching, however you did. We appreciate it. Remember, nobody's told you I love you and you matter. Have a great night. We'll be back tomorrow, Tuesday, right here, National Sports Radio.